Gamers, gals, non-binary pals, it is time to react and steal content, just like before. These boomer era Yu-Gi-Oh cards are still amazing today. I can see Book of Moon. I don't really know what else is on this list, and if I see a fucking Raigeki, I'm going to shit. YouTube, you didn't see me, I'm not here. Leo supports leeching. Let that be known.
Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka... And we are back with another X thread. On that note, here's the worst take I can possibly think of. Today our Twitter thread is about boomer cards because I'm trying to cash in on that hot Yu-Gi-Oh nostalgia that always gets clicks. While I'm definitely a rotation enjoyer, a lot of individuals always parrot the same line back at me when I try to preach it to them. They say, Joseph, how cool is it that all of these old cards are still playable? So today we're going to look at those old cards and see how neat it is that cards printed in 2002 are still good in 2023. And I think the poster child for this is Book of Moon, a card that's been on and off playable since its original printing. It's weaved in and out of multiple different formats and metagames and is currently enjoying a ton of playability because of its applications against some of the top decks. I love this.
All right. First of all, Book of Moon, goated card. Did you know that this card was like limited until like 2018?
You always had triple Book of Moon!
Second of all, why is Fruit trending? The last time Fruit was trending, it was about her fucking military husband getting cucked or some shit.
Can't wait to play more of it when they finally deal with Unchained. Let's see what you all came up with. This card's been good pretty much the entire time it's been legal. It's strong. I guess really early on there were formats where it was only kind of okay, but you know, there have also been formats where this reads win the game. The Lost.
I mean, it's still kind of funny that even in like Edison format, like Foolish Burial is still kind of goated. Like you send Dandelion, you get 2 tokens, and Lightsworn, you send Wolf, and you get a Wolf.
It says, honestly speaking, most DM era staples have had their time as the most broken pieces of generic tools in their own respective time. This one is fine now, but I find it hilarious that a VG promo from 2003 still sees competitive play today. Although, to be fair, it also spent like 15 years seeing no play because it was banned. Dyer says this card is older than some of your viewers. Some! I've seen my metrics. Most of you have to ask your parents' permission before going on DisneyXD.com. Anyway, she says it sees regular play whenever a dark deck can use it. I think that Allure of Darkness has seen better days. You don't see it very often anymore because it's a slot that would be better served by like a hand trap. But certainly there are still decks that play it. I think Blackwing does, right? Okay, Doug.
Nightbeam.
Darren, this is where you play the quit making fun of Nightbeam clip.
Don't make fun of Nightbeam anymore.
Shouts out to Jesse Cotton, a hero of the people. If you haven't seen my short already, I'd really recommend it. In fact, let it play a couple of times. Click any ads that come up too. But the short of it is, while looking for a tech for Unchained, he found Marionette Mite. Now, this card's not very good. Its coverage is really poor, but in the Unchained matchup, you can use it to steal High King Caesar, which immediately contests the rage that is on their side of the field and usually forces out the escape, clearing all points of interaction. The reason this is preferred over Change of Heart is because putting Change of Heart face up on your side of the field allows them to activate Escape, which allows them to play through just a little bit more. Coder says, this is my favorite card when it's playable in a format. It can be Interruption, it can help you dodge Interruption, and it can take an important piece of your opponent's board. Versatile, powerful in the right moment, one of my favorite cards to play. One of the best parts about the Cashier format was that this card was very playable. It's just so fantastic when stealing an opponent's monster immediately converts into something as powerful as a Rise Heart, but it's also fantastic to just like switch an opponent's monster to defense position to deny Zeus. It just does.
God, I love Econ. I think Econ is one of my most favorite cards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I've been saying it since day one. The man who put Econ on the map, Blade yugioh. Yu-Gi-Oh's first Yugi tuber.
The best card of the weekend. The best.
The best. What is it?
The best.
What is it?
Enemy controller.
I miss Blade, bro. When is he coming back? He was VTubing 5 years ago. Hasher could never.
Are Magical Musketeers worth it?
What
So
am I
Magical
watching?
Musketeers are a new archetype that came out of the latest set.
By the way, I'm pretty sure Blade was unironically 15 when he made this video, which is very funny to think about.
RJ says, in 2007, Konami printed a GX manga card as a treat for a beloved archetype. A decade and a half later, the community still pogs out of our mind every time we see him in a mildly successful list. Astrados was playable the entire time he was legal, and then they banned him, and then they unbanned him, and he's been playable in Hero Brews since, which have been okay. Jules says, guy came to locals with his Gravekeeper deck from over a decade ago trying to get back into the game. We were describing the meta and I told him about cash end boards, and without blinking he went, sounds like I could lava golem that. He got second that night. I love this game. I hate getting lava golemed. My beloved, oh. When this card came off the list, I cried tears of joy. My best performance in a tournament to this day is playing a low-to-the-ground Trickstar deck that included 3 main deck copies of Torrential Tribute at the 2017 WCQ. 2018 WCQ. One of the fucking WCQs. This is a weird card because this...
I remember, I fucking hate Torrential Tribute. I remember during COVID format where I was playing Virtual World and every fucking little shitter on the fucking planet was playing Floodgate Eldritch, and every time I tried to push for game because they couldn't play through my VFD, or they just set 5, I would summon a Shen, or I would go Lulu, or I would go Lao, and they just flipped Torrential, and I just lost. I fucking hate Torrential so much because of that.
This card has never been good. Even at time of printing, it was like, this card's fine. Playable since release, even though we didn't think it was, to today where it still hangs out in sideboards regularly. I was going to talk shit on it. This card does still see a bit of play here and there. Not a lot, blows up the entire board. Yeah, I mean, this is a good one. I'm playing this card right now in Mikanko and Master Duel, even before Neos Connector, and some madman played this on Goki as a legit normal summon. Huh? Oh god, you're right. I thought I had locked that away in the annals of my mind, but...
Oh yeah, I remember. It's because Junk Speeder, Goki, you would play like a bunch of like free summons that just happened to be warrior, and you would just normal summon Neo, Spacian, Alkadolphin. Just be like, fuck it, bro, we ball.
Lo and behold, up through the cavities... Yeah, that did happen. This one always gets billed to me as like, rotation, this could never happen if rotation was around.
This didn't happen.
It saw 1 weekend of play. Everyone went, oh, that's neat. I think I'm probably really responsible for people thinking this was like a staple because they watched that short and they were like, if I watch it again, it becomes more true. Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, this card does nothing. It just reads, it's just Diabolic Tutor, right? Compulse is a non-destruction piece of removal and has served that exact purpose like every 4th or 5th format for the last 15 years. Surprised there's no mention of Darkhole, card that managed to get better with time. What was once a drawback to the card is now a beneficiary in the right situation. While not as prevalent as some old cards, it still manages to see play in a lot of decks. Yes, it does. This card had to be hit again during Zoo format because it was such a huge swing. It's crazy that this card was ever considered bad. Playing those formats again, it's clear that like from print, rank 5 turbo becomes like a top tier deck because of the existence of this card, and we just didn't know it yet. No, Valor's not old. Boomer cards means like Monster Reborn and Change of Heart. This card's only a couple of years old, right? It's funny that this used to be playable because games lasted like more than 2 turns. Old. Now it's playable because it gets you some shit in Banish that triggers in Banish turn 1. You know, it's funny. At print, this card was only okay. Like, it was pretty good. And then we realized it was busted to shit, got banned, got eroded. It was still pretty good in the right deck. And then we started playing those old formats again and realized at print it was one of the best cards in the format. It was so strong that like it now invalidates large parts of Goat and Reaper format to play a deck that does not play this in Last Will. This is the one that's...
Also, let me get a shout out to fucking Tri-Brigade format, where like normal summon Rescue Cat was, holy shit, the most obnoxious thing of all time, because if you didn't have Judgment, like you were just fucked. And even if you did like bounce it back to the hand, they just fucking pitch it off Karas, because Karas is the most... Oh my god, I fucking hate Tri-Brigade, dude. I think I hate like all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Now that I think about it.
Started it all. You can trace the lineage of every single pot card printed recently to Pot of Duality. It's crazy because this card was doing the I will add this card from my graveyard to my hand like 4 times in a single turn, basically since release. Like, oh joy, Airblade. No, retro cards are like Torrential Tribute. They're not like Tour Guide. No! 12 years! I can't believe this card is still legal, man. Sophie says I have bad news about the majority of playable Boomer cards. This is the most effective rebuttal to, oh, the Marionette Mite thing is so cool that it necessitates a format in which 55 million cards are legal. Oh, it's like most of the cards from yesteryear are this over and over again. Just this bullshit. Sarah says, dude is on the list to this day. He could be off. He could come off. But imagine getting printed in, what, Phantom Darkness and being a staple in Dark Goki like 10 years later. She's 6 years old. Fuck. My great Ash story is, in preparation for the 2017 NAWCQ, I had to purchase 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. There was just no way around it. It's a really strong card that, despite the fact that it was only really sideboarded during that Zoo format, was game determinative. So I nutted up and paid about $90 for them shipped to my house. This was happening at the same time as I was purchasing an engagement ring for Jillian. And I had told our landlord, please let me know when a package arrives because I didn't want someone to like porch pirate the engagement ring. So the landlord fucking told Jillian, and she was like, why did they tell you that a package arrived? And so I thought up a lie, and I thought it up quick. I said, oh, I was just getting a playset of ash blossom. And she said, oh. Unbeknownst to her, the ashes hadn't yet arrived. And she said, can I see them? And I said, no. Again, while I do like...
No. The most insane shit about that story is the fact that he bought an engagement ring online. I don't know. Maybe he just knew her ring size. Maybe the store had to order it because of sizing or something. It is still insane that like you would get an engagement ring like through the mail. I could not trust the post office or New Jersey citizens to not fucking porch pirate that shit. Like I would do everything in my power to like go to the jewelry store and be like, I will pick this up.
Like rotation, it does feel good to play a game in which you can see the history of the game splayed out in front of you in literally every duel. Although you know you could still do that if there was a second format, right? All you need to do is bifurcate the format and then it would be fine.
But yeah, let me know your favorite boomer card is in the comment section down below. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.